Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Today we're talking about giving. Man, such an important topic to dive into, and giving in its relationship to productivity. All right, so thanks for being here. If you are new, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. We have a really innovative narrative-based approach, which is to say that everyone's life up to this point has historically told a story. Everyone's life is currently telling a story, and everyone's life will eventually tell a story when it's all said and written. So, thanks for being here. You can also simply become a subscriber here now on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Get all these videos for free. I did say free. 1, 2, 3, 4, free. And holla at us, and we'll holla back at ya. Again, today we're talking about giving, and we'll jump into that in just a matter of moments. But let me say a few words about myself for those of you who are new to the show. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher, author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, author of the acclaimed historical novel America, set 13 miles from Ferguson, where, of course, Michael Brown was murdered, author of the spanking brand new, as of April 2019, Animating Black and Brown Liberation, A Theory of American Literatures, board president of the World Stage, a great literary and jazz nonprofit, 501c3 nonprofit here in Los Angeles. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad, master's UCLA, and PhD in English literature from the University of California at Riverside. Listen, I'm an expert at being productive. I don't say that to brag or boast. People are always surprised to hear my story when they hear about my background. I am the product of a young girl who was violated at age 16, gave birth to me at 17, and then subsequently gave me up for adoption to an amazing single divorcee. Yet at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD. Yet it's cool. Modi famously said, "How you like me now?" And if I can be this productive through joy, we know many people can be in a very similar way, which is why we always tell the story to start the show, because we know it's not where you're from, it's where you're about to go. I'm rhyming right now, so thanks for being here, guys. Let's dive into the topic. Today we're talking about giving and productivity. Point one is that you want to make giving a lifestyle. You know, practically, I'm sure you've seen in social media, but just in the ecosphere, in the last 4 or 5 years, in corporate America, there is a focus on giving back, because they've just done their research and they found out that millennials, future consumers, support businesses that give back. So you may have seen Honda's commercial, which is probably the most high-profile direct example of this. I think it's called like the random acts of giving, or random acts of giving. Yeah, where they essentially are giving to people because they did their research and they found out that, well, people like to support businesses that give back. I just mentioned that because you know that when corporate America is doing it, it's gotten to the point where it's super mainstream, because they're about their bottom line. If they're spending money giving to people, you know they've done their research and they know that in the long run it pays dividends. And so I use that example just to say, let's not have corporate America beat us to doing good. So you want to make giving a lifestyle. What does it mean to make giving a lifestyle? Just point two. I phrase it or frame this by saying you want to give even when no one is looking, right? You want to serve even, and giving is not just giving money or possessions. It's also giving your time in the mode of service. You want to give, you want to serve even when no one is looking, even when you can get no benefit from it. You don't tell people about it. You just do it because you know it's the right thing to do, and that's the difficult part, because it takes work, it takes effort, and if you're like me and many other people, you're busy. You have a lot going on in your life. You got kids to raise and jobs to do, and you got a family, you have friends, you have relationships. You have a lot going on, and just to be given of your time is not such an easy thing to do. But and then to gain little reward from it. Now, listen, I mean, just to keep it real, we are animals, and we are motivated by affirmation. You know, If you're a parent, you know that when your child says to you, "Mommy, Daddy, I love you," or "Thank you," or after you've done the amazing hard work of being a parent, for those of you who do not have kids, being a parent, the work is exhausting. Hats off to all the single moms, single dads out there who do this by themselves. This is no joke. All right, I mean, you're a single parent, man. You deserve like a medal, a medal of a Purple Heart. I'm serious because you are working, and so you want to make this giving not simply a thing, although we need affirmation, but and that'll come, but you give because you know it's the right thing to do, all right? Which goes right into point three. Well, this is like point two, sub point two, version A, sub bullet one, is that when you give, a lot of times, oftentimes, you will be seen as weak. People will take advantage of you, and you'll be betrayed. And that is one of the most difficult parts of this philosophy. I call it also love is a verb. You're loving, you're being about the action of love by engaging in an active, loving lifestyle. You make love a verb by doing things. You just don't tell people you love them, or you love the planet, or you love people, or you love your lady or your man or whatever. You show them. And although those words are important, it's fine to say I love you, and of course it's great. But people want to know it by what you do. And you will certainly, you probably have already encountered this, but for those of us who are the lovers of the world, you love, you give, you serve, and people take your kindness for weakness, your love for weakness, take advantage of you, and at times literally attack you for your love. I've experienced all of those things, unfortunately, and which goes right into point three, and the last point is that even in the face of having your heart challenged by people acting in ways that are just not right, you want to love and serve even when your heart is challenged, right? That's when the real growth and development and change begins to happen in your life. That's just my experience, but what I've seen and also personally experienced. When you give, when I was looking, when you give, when you're hurt, when you give, and serve, when you've been betrayed. We're not saying be foolish. We're not saying be a mark. We're saying protect yourself, and don't allow protecting yourself be a reason to stop giving because it's hard, right? Stop serving because it's hard. And once you begin to give and serve and love, when you've had your heart broken, your heart challenged, that's when you begin to break open to the next level of your own personal development. I wish it was not that difficult emotionally. I wish it was easier. But that's just been my experience of that's what it takes to really, or maybe that's not what it takes for everyone. That's what's taken for me to evolve and to grow. Listen, it's tough. This is not for the weak at heart, right? A lifestyle of love, of giving, of service. Good luck. I think about Nipsey Hussle. Just his life. And that's why the death of Nipsey Hussle, the murder of Nipsey Hussle hurts so many of us. Those of us who are lovers of our community, of our people, of service. He was a cat dedicated to serving his community, our community. And not that he was perfect and he didn't have issues. But who doesn't have those? But he was about it. And in the midst of that service, in front of his own store, some fool shot him and killed him. Oh, it's brutal. I mean, I cried so hard for that brother because that's me and a lot of people who are really committed, who are not just talking, who are really doing it for real. And when you see something like that, it really is discouraging, So I don't want to get too deep on that right now, but I was saying that, but you are going to face people who take your love for weakness, and we encourage you to give and serve anyway because love will have the final say. Boom, goes to dynamite. That's all we have for today's show. Go to productivethroughjoy.com. See about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. I'm on book tours. Look for me in Kentucky, Louisiana, LA. I'll be everywhere the 24th of this Illinois Park Book Fair. See you soon. Deuces.